Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Lord Drakkon. And if you are a person who watched the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as a kid and never dealt with Power Rangers since then, you're like, what is that? That's not a thing from the show, and you're right. It's not. It's from a thing, it's from like I think, I'm not the biggest Power Rangers expert, but I'm pretty sure it was an unofficial thing that ended up becoming adopted as an official thing, and it's Green Ranger gone bad in the future, and he's got Tiger Ranger and Dragon Ranger bits glued together, give or take. I'm ad-libbing a little bit, but it's basically like fan service out the wazoo, and that's why everybody likes it, because that's what fan service is for. And it's a cool design, and this is a figure like all the others, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, this guy stands just about 16, let's say to the top of the helmet, not counting the little spiky thing, about 16 centimeters. I know it doesn't look like that on camera. It's because of the parallax in the angle, don't worry. So 16 centimeters to the top of the round part of the helmet. That makes it just about 6 1/4 inches, pretty close to that. I'm not comparing these to the Bandai Legacy line because they're just not even comparable figures. You're not gonna be like, well, I don't need this because I have that. They're really not comparable. They're so different. These are more in line with a realistic look, whereas those were super like 90s corny looking things. And they both have their own place, but not necessarily a place that should be compared. And this is basically like all the other Power Rangers they've released so far. I will say they did a really nice job with the chest piece right here, the armor. I'm gonna have to refresh my memory by looking at it, but as far as I can tell from memory, it's much nicer executed than the Green Ranger armor. And I'll be publishing that video soon. I don't know when you guys are watching this, so it may be before or after, but this is nicer than the Green Ranger armor. Putting it out there. Very nicely done. The gold paint job on this guy is very metallic. Hasbro is good at doing metallic paints. They did a good job here. The gold up here is darker and more of a gold look than down here. This is more of like a metallic yellow. It's a little bit too light, but it still looks really nice. The paint job on the belt is very clean. The paint job on the face, on this one it's not bad, but I went through a bunch of these before I found one that was decent. And this one is still not great, but it definitely looks good enough. I'll take it. But a lot of them have black all over the head. I mean the top part of the head from this piece. Very sloppy. This one actually is really good compared to the other ones I looked at. But some of them were terrible. The only downside though is his visor red is not anywhere near nice enough to look like a visor. It's not even glossy or anything, so that's a definite bummer. But it's clean enough, so that's cool. And then the helmet is still like a glossy plastic, so I definitely appreciate that. It's like that's, what would that be? Probably like ABS maybe? No, it's probably, I don't know. It's too soft to be ABS. I don't know what that is. Maybe they just put gloss on it. Hard to say. But the rest is definitely a PVC figure for the most part. Some harder plastic in here, but standard Marvel Legends type plastic. So aesthetically, it's pretty good. I'm very pleased with it. I'm gonna give it an 8 on this one. It definitely would be a lot lower if it was one of the worst ones, but this one that I have here is definitely clean enough. Not great back here, but close enough, so 8. As far as accessories go, we already saw the helmet. We do have an unhelmeted head, which is kind of a nice likeness for a futuristic Tommy. And he's got the leprosy on his face, and that's pretty well done, and the face is pretty well done. He's got kind of a peanut head shape going on, which they pinched it in at the top and made it too skinny, and then the hair poofs out. It looks a little bit weird, but it's not terrible, so that's okay. We do get his dragon dagger, and it's painted well enough. It's okay. Not great, but okay. Then we do have the 2 gripping hands and the 2 fist hands, and we have a recycled swooshy, I don't know, whatever you want to call that for the dagger. So not a bad batch of accessories. I will give it an 8. That is pretty good batch of accessories. All right, on to the articulation. The head, we have a hinge and a ball peg. Very limited range because of the armor, which is to be expected. So forward and back is pretty limited. You're going to be able to rotate though, so that's fine. And you do get a little bit of attitude out of it, so that's pretty cool. The attitude, I don't know about you guys, but I love it when you can get that just a little bit, because it makes your posing look so much more natural. You can get a lot more expression out of a figure by leaning the head to the side rather than just rotating it. So I think that's pretty cool. The armor is floaty, but just barely. It hugs the figure very, very snugly, and it's fairly substantial, so it's going to get in the way a little bit. But you do have your butterfly joint in here, which is helpful to an extent, depending on what you want to do. The arms technically still work, but just not really, because you can't really raise the arm. You have to go out to the side if you want to raise the arm, and then it's very, very stiff, but it will go. It can't go all the way up because of the armor. So this armor is very cumbersome and problematic for the articulation if you want to bring his arm forward. Obviously, you can pose around it, and there's not much they could do, but it is definitely an issue. You do get a bicep swivel there, double jointed elbow. Why do I have a yellow peg? Oh, they used a yellow peg for the outside, and then it's on the inside. That's gross looking. They should have put some paint on it. Oh well. Wrist, swivel, and hinge, that's all standard. Diaphragm joint at the top is really nice. Ab crunch at the bottom, still not a great combination, but these guys work better than most, so that's okay. It definitely works. That's all right. If you switch those, you have better articulation. I don't know why they don't do that. I do know why. It costs more, harder to do. This is floaty, so that's okay. Hips go really far out to the side, so that's really good. Going forward, they're okay. That's pretty good. They don't go back at all, really. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is really nice. Ankle hinge goes... Ooh, that's pretty sloppy down here, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Ankle hinge goes all the way back. If you loop it over the green, it goes even farther, but you don't need to. That's pretty far. And it can go pretty far forward, too. It's very hard to get it over the green, so it's not going to go very far forward. But you can, if you get this part over the green part, it'll go pretty far. So not terrible. Really nice ankle rocker out of that swivel, so that's pretty good. These guys do tend to get very loose very fast, though, because of how they're being made, so be aware of that. But the articulation is definitely not bad, other than the armor getting in the way, and I'm not sure they could have done too much about that. So I guess that's the way it goes. So articulation on this guy, I'll give it an 8? Yeah, I'll give it an 8. It's not really their fault that this is here, so I'm not going to hold it against them. So yeah, it's a pretty strong release if you can get one with good paint. If you can, then go for it. It's a nice looking figure. It's going to look good on the shelf. It poses well enough if you can deal with the arm issue. And I guess that's about it. So yeah, final verdict is going to be an 8 on this guy. If you can find a good one, it's an 8. If you find a bad one, it could go as low as a 6, because there are some really fugly heads out there, but overall, it's pretty solid. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, you probably should, because I would like it. And I have lots of videos for you. Thousands already on the channel. New ones almost daily. It's all for you. So come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.